And Lucas, you can start.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. So, first of all, I'm very grateful that I can make this presentation. Although it seems I'm not the youngest person, I do this in this job for the first time here, so I apologize if I cannot present everything in great detail, but I welcome very much questions, and I will then lead to answers maybe afterwards. So my name is Lukas Warschech. I'm heading the Service Center International Transfer of the Julius-Maximilian-Universität of Würzburg. I have this job since about 3 years. I'm also a professor in physics, and I'm teaching there a little in quantum technology. First of all, I want to say something where we are located. So where is Würzburg? Würzburg is a town of about 130,000 inhabitants. And together with the High School for Applied Sciences, we have about 40,000 students here. So it is a very young city. Here's a map of the world. And Würzburg is located here. If you focus a little bit more inside, you can see here Germany. In the southern part, there is Bavaria, and Würzburg is located there. If you have then a closer look, go inside, maybe you will know Nuremberg and Frankfurt. There's a big airport. Here is Munich. So we can see that Würzburg is in the western north part of Nuremberg called Franconia. If you zoom more in, you see a map of Würzburg. Würzburg is located in a kind of a valley surrounded by vineyards, and the university is quite old. It was founded 1402 and is therefore the oldest university in Bavaria. The campus, we are a comprehensive university, is distributed all over the city. You can see here points where university houses are located. The picture from the front is about here. So this is the old part of Würzburg, surrounded by a wall in the shape of a bishop's head. But as you can see, since about 20 years ago, there was a new opportunity for Würzburg University to build new buildings, which are mainly located in the northern part, what we call Campus Hubland. In the northern part here, you can see here the clinics and other houses surrounded. Here are the botanical gardens, for instance, but there's a strong concentration of university buildings for teaching at the Campus Hubland. So to give you some impressions and input, what you can expect at Würzburg University. So from the maps, maybe you have noticed that we have a river. This is the Main River. And you can see all around in this valley these vineyards. So Würzburg is proud of his Franconian wine. For instance, you may know the Silvaner. We have a lot of churches in Würzburg, and exposed on a hill, you can see a fortress from former times. So on the hill, there is the oldest chapel northern of the Alps, dating back not meant here, for instance, Ireland, but it's from the 9th century. So we have an old history where we are quite proud of. It is one of the most popular student cities in Germany. We are a young city because the ratio of students compared to other inhabitants is quite large. And it's quite warm here in the northern part of Bavaria. So it's one of the warmest and safest city regions in Germany. Würzburg University has hosted a lot of well-known scientists. Maybe you may know that the X-rays were discovered by Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen at the end of the 19th century. So we are quite proud of also in lecturing towards science. Here are some other examples. There's a museum where Röntgen discovered the X-rays. By the way, in that year he was also the rector of the university, and for 1 year, that was typically at that times that the rector was in his job for about 1 year, and after he went back to his institute after being the rector, within a few months he was so eager to do experiments, so he discovered here the X-rays. Here are other examples. So Würzburg has hosted for some slot of the lifetime now 14 Nobel laureates. You can see a picture of Hartmut Michel, who was involved in analyzing the green color in leaves, or Harald Zuhausen, who received the Nobel Prize in Medicine 2008 for his cancer research. So I see some questions. So the red dots, sorry for that I do not answer it exactly now. So the red dots are places where the university has houses. University houses, lecturing halls, buildings, mensateria, and so on. Some more impressions. As I told you before, Würzburg is a quite old city. As I also mentioned before, there are a lot of churches. Here, this is a picture from the viewpoint of the old Main Bridge, also over 1,000 of years old. In the evening, there are a lot of people usually there, enjoying the nice scenery and also drinking some wine. Here's a restaurant. In that house, for instance, Werner Heisenberg was born, who was one of the major theoreticians in the field of quantum mechanics. Here's the Mayer Hall, and here you can see the front of the Romanic Dome Cathedral of Würzburg. And the Hubland campus is, if you would walk here about 2 or 3 kilometers, then up to the hills, there would be here the Hubland campus. In principle, you can reach in Würzburg every house by walking within about 30 minutes. Franconia is quite famous because if you went a little bit outside, you have these little nice villages, and everywhere in Franconia you can see here the vineyards. Some more impressions. In 1752, the residence, which was a castle for the Prince Bishop, also Napoleon was there for some time, was finalized by the architect Balthasar Neumann. He was from Bohemia at that time. So Würzburg is also a place where you can see these Rococo kind of buildings, so the later Baroque time due to this Prince Bishop. The first Prince Bishop was installed in 1170 by the Imperator Friedrich Barbarossa. He was quite often there, and he was thankful to the Bishop of Würzburg because his second marriage was there with Beatrice from Burgund. You see, although I'm a physicist, I'm quite a little bit interested in historical events. You have seen the Marienburg, which is a castle. Here's a view from the back of the residence. Then we have 12 theaters, 16 museums, and so on. So the living there is, besides a good possibility for studying, also a lot of events are here possible. Some further pictures. So this is the residence from the front with the fountain. Here you can see the old Main Bridge where we formerly took a view into this main street with the cathedral, and again, you see how many of these cathedrals are there. Here's the Main River. Here's a closer look to the cathedral of Würzburg, which is in Romanic style, so more than 1,000 years old. And outside Würzburg, we have a lot of another of these small castles. Here's Veit-Zöchheim. Veit-Zöchheim you can reach via boat on the Main River, which is about 10 kilometers to the northwest of Würzburg. Some more impressions of Würzburg in the night. So here we call this is here the cathedral, the Domstraße, Cathedral Street, with the possibilities of shopping. Again, some impressions of Würzburg when the sun starts to shine. So this is the morning, because this is east part. Maybe we have here a look towards the direction of the Ukraine. Lots of water, the Main River and the harbor, and here also a view from the bridge during the night. Some things about the history. So it was, as mentioned before, founded in 1402. In Germany, is the fourth oldest university. Würzburg University has 10 faculties with 250 degree programs, about one half in the bachelor regime and the other half in master's programs. Presently, we have 26,000 students at the university. We have also other higher education institutions, as I told you before, University of Applied Science and so on. 10% of the students are presently from abroad, international students. And we are eager to increase these numbers. About the faculties, for instance, at the place, so before I told you something about the red dots, which are distributed on a radius of about 3 to 4 kilometers in Würzburg and on the Valley Hills. Here we have a faculty for human sciences. At the central building, where also the president and the chancellor and the university headings are located, there's the faculty of economics. We call this new university. It looks quite not so new, but this building is called New Universities. This is a bird-eyes view from the residence of Würzburg, but also here, classical and ancient studies, philosophy are located here in the right wing of the residence. Behind you can see here the big gardens, and also Balthasar Neumann, who was the architect of this building, recommended that around the old part of Würzburg there's a green belt, a park where you can have fun with friends and enjoy the trees and the park sites. Outside we have also a botanical garden at Würzburg universities, which is quite often in these older universities in Europe. You can see these botanical gardens. On the west side of the inner ring, there are various institutes. Here you can see an old part where Röntgen discovered. So this was the former Physics Institute. Now it is on the top side at Hubland campus. And Würzburg is known for, so we say it, at least the nicest lecture hall in Europe. This is the Toscani Hall in the residence, located, I guess, here. So this is an inner view of this hall, which was finalized in the 1750s. Some more modern impressions. So in the main campus area, Hubland campus, we have a faculty for pharmacy and chemistry. Würzburg University is a comprehensive university, except you cannot study engineering, but we have studies which are close to engineering, so functional materials or quantum technologies, which are specialized on a certain kind of material. We have a new building, a seminar and central lecture hall in the center of the Hubland campus, a new faculty of computer science. In Bavaria, Würzburg has also a focus on artificial intelligence. Here you can see a front view of the faculty of maths. And in the last 20 years, the Hubland campus Nord expanded because this was in former times an area where the American army was located, but after they moved, the state of Bavaria gave 40 hectares to the University of Würzburg, so it can expand there now with a lot of new buildings. In the center of the Hubland campus, we have a mensateria and also the central library. Würzburg was always very proud because it starts 40 years ago with the establishment of what they call interdisciplinary research center, and research center of excellence. Presently, Würzburg is part of a cluster of excellence in topological insulators, which is a new kind of material, something between an insulator and magnetic material and semiconductor. These new kind of materials were discovered 2010 in Würzburg. What you can see here is a picture of a clean room, which you need to realize such new materials. The frame is not for art. It is so that parts of this building here are hanging on this structure so that these new materials can be formed. Another impression for such a center is here the Virchow Center, close to the region of clinical studies, medicine, and functional materials. So we have here also Max Planck research groups and Helmholtz Institute for RNA-based infection research. Why study in Würzburg? We have here a video with a link on YouTube. Maybe you can watch this afterwards from the students' beginners' perspective. Here also quite some information is given. I also provided here links which are interactive. If not, so write me please. I gave you my email address, then I can give you the link. So here you can have an overview of the studies, what possibilities are given. I have seen now the questions how to improve the language, so please go to this link. We have a center for languages at Würzburg universities, where it's also possible to have classes in German. How to enroll? Here's also a link given. We call this system We Study. So there's a lot of, and also movies there, how to apply and enroll at Würzburg universities. And here's the main page of the students program We Study, where you can plan your schedules and see the study cases and have an overview for enrollment details and immatriculation. So in Würzburg live 100, I in between answer the question. So in Würzburg live 130,000 people, and 40,000 of them are students. Degree programs are provided in social sciences, health and medicine, language, culture, and media science, education, business and law, natural sciences, mathematics, computer science, and kind of engineering. So as I told you before, quantum technologies, functional materials. I will now give you an overview of different study programs. Here in social science, we have bachelor degree programs listed here. I will pick up some of them. Sports sciences, now we have a new study program which seems to attract a lot of international students. Then education for special needs education, music education, in theology. I told you before we have a lot of churches there, so we have a faculty of Catholic theology and evangelic theology. In computer science, which is now a core element of many faculties, so they interact here in an interdisciplinary way with our KAIDAS, Institute for Center for Artificial Intelligence. There are some studies related, therefore, with human-computer interactions. We are also quite strong in psychology, in the humanities, philosophy, political and social sciences. Here are some, for social sciences, a master degree. You can see about one half is in the bachelor, the other half in master's degree, educational sciences, and so on. Typically in Germany, the students do their bachelor degree and then can decide to go to a postgraduate study, to master degree, and after that a PhD degree. But there's also in some cases a fast track where directly from the master focus degree you can go to PhD. Examples in natural sciences, mathematics and computer science. In bachelor degree, of course, biology, biochemistry, biomedicine, pharmacology, physics. There's a long tradition in semiconductor physics at Würzburg universities, spreading towards application, but also deep insights in new physics. I told you before that this new kind of material, topological insulators, were discovered here at Würzburg University. We have in the bachelor degree mathematics. There's also a program which is funded presently by Erasmus in mathematics. Professor Daszkowski is here leading the project. There's a close cooperation to universities in the Ukraine. Aeronautical informatics maybe could be interesting for you, and game engineering. Here are some examples for master degree. Many of them can be studied first on the bachelor level and afterward on a master's level. So you can find here biochemistry here and biochemistry at master level. Here there's this kind of this focus program, which in a fast track you can go towards PhD. So I look at the questions now. So there's a question, welches Niveau braucht man für Master Degree? So which level for master to apply here? You need typically a bachelor degree. By that, I have to emphasize that for the bachelor degree, we now, without any exception, cooperate with UniAssist. So you have to apply there. You can find this on the pages. I give you the links before. And you need there this VPD, this Vorprüf documentation by UniAssist. In the master's degree, it could be different. So here I recommend to go in the master's degree. The faculties itself do the advertising of their programs, and here you can find information. So the Prüfungsausschuss, so the committee for proving the enrollment, is they so send there your application, and then they will check it and test it. So some of them do not need the VPT of Uni Assist there, but they are so experienced then they can study your application forms by themselves by the Prüfungsausschuss. The next question, is it possible to do a postgraduate program in educational science having an Ukrainian degree in linguistic? I think that is possible, but here also I recommend to look especially for these programs on the master's level. We have English spoken degrees there in educational sciences. So I give you later a link to these English programs, and here directly hand in your application as it is described there. Here are some other degree programs, languages, culture and media, but this is just an excerpt about what is possible. If you want to have a full overview, so I recommend to go to the study or the other links I gave you, where's an overview of all the study programs possible at Würzburg University. So we have 250 different programs there. And here's what you can see for education, as it was asked before. We have master's degree programs totally taught in English. Here's the link. It's interactive. If not, so you can write me an email to lukas.waschech@uni-würzburg.de, and then I send you the link again. In our development program, presently we have about 20 of these English-speaking programs, but we increase this number by about 5 within the next years. We also have a cooperation. We are part of the European network Charm EU, where we cooperate, for instance, with universities in the University of Barcelona, the Trinity College, and other partners in Europe. And here new master programs are developed together with these universities as a joint degree. So also here I recommend to go to the webpage of Würzburg, Charm EU, and to have a look about the development. So it's a very active time now here in Würzburg, as we want to being more attractive for international students compared to former times. Other arguments why you should study in Würzburg, it's your decision, but maybe you were somewhat interested in. But this is quite general. In Germany, there's a change for some universities, but in principle, we have no tuition fees here for our study programs. There's a kind of a semester contribution of about 164.9 euros presently, but this is paid to the, we call it Studierendenwerk. Here's included a bus ticket for free, reduced prices in the Mensateria, and also reduced prices or offerings for museums and so on. In Würzburg, together, if you have this, your student's card, there's a public free transport, free access to IT and language courses. We have sports centers with various sports courses, gym and swimming pool. And as far as I am informed, there are also some theaters then for free. Okay, now I will answer again some questions. So, guten Morgen, good morning. I'm interested in games engineering, bachelor degree program. As I can see, it is subject to admission restriction? Yes. How many candidates and available places there were during previous enrollment? Thanks in advance for your response. So if there is a restriction, it is so by law in Germany and also in Bavaria. If there is a restriction, 5% of all study places are reserved for international students. And in games engineering bachelor, I don't know the exact numbers, but I guess about 100 students, and therefore about 5%, maybe more. I will check. So if you can write me an email, I know the professors which are responsible, and then I will ask for that. But you need, as it is a bachelor degree from Uni Assist, this VPD, this Vorprüfdokumentation. Next question. How can I find a supervisor at the University of Würzburg in order to apply for a special program as a researcher, such as the Philipp Schwarz initiative? Where should I send the request? So here I know exactly the answer, because the support of the Philipp Schwarz initiative is in our unit, the Service Center of International Transfer. Here I ask you, send me an email. I know the person, because for Philipp Schwarz there are some special covering in information, and then I will forward it to it, and they will look for proper supervisors. So my email address again is lukas.waschech@uni-würzburg.de. So free theater, yeah, sorry, I have not wrote, I put this together. The problem is I'm the oldest person here at our unit, and I ask the people to give me the slides, and I put them a little bit together. So I'm open for criticism afterwards. Maybe you can tell me what I can improve, or we can improve there. So free theater means you have not to pay for the tickets, but it is not for all theaters. It's a special deal. So the main theater has programs. We have also a lot of these small theaters here in Würzburg. Some of them are for free, and some programs are for free for students if they have this student card. So some more information how to connect with people at the university. So we have fitness and sports center. We have a student's house with living room. The student's house is organized by the Studierendenwerk. Okay, Wi-Fi, ateliers. So you can also practice a band with instruments. They have garden. The students are here very active. They also have now a new building here only for the students, and in the responsibility of the organization of the students, a new building here at the Hubland Campus Nord, where they have a garden and also can practice other activities. And this is then a kind of a new meeting point for students. We have a university orchestra, which I'm always very much impressed. So during the Xmas time, they gave a concert where I typically listen to the music there in a former church of the university. And we have drama groups cooperating with the different gremia. For instance, this is KHG, means Katholische Hochschulgemeinde, Catholic High School community, but also English drama group and so on. Okay, this was the presentation. I have 23 slides. If you have more questions, so you're very welcome to ask me questions. Thank you very much for your attention. Do you have questions? So I go to now to this question points. So there were presently 8 questions. Do you have more questions? There's one public question. I don't believe that it was a great presentation because it was my first one. By the way, I'm good in organizing funding. I also was in charge of projects together with scientists and students from the Ukraine. I have been there several times in Kiev and Lviv. So I'm really interested in supporting you. So I receive several hundred emails per day. So you're welcome to send me more emails. I try to answer them. So do not hesitate to write me an email. I'm bored the whole day long, and I'm seeking for supporting you. Okay, there is a question. Excuse me, I have to switch between. Okay, there are questions. So this, I just, they told me I can put these questions so everybody can see it. So these are, does the university recognize Ukrainian bachelor's degrees without the need for nostrification? Yes and no, it depends. So for bachelor's degree, it is so that we cooperate with UniAssist. They have about 300,000 applications per year. They're working for many universities in Germany, about 200. We also use this service since about 1 year. So for bachelor degree, this is a must. For master's degree, where you need an equivalent of a German bachelor's degree, it depends on the master's program. So here I recommend to go to our sites. Many of the master's program do not request an approval of UniAssist because they have their knowledge their own in the faculties. So here I recommend to go to the master degree itself. So next question. Okay, if it is, I have to learn the program. So I go to the next question. How is the public transport system organized for students in the city, and are there discounts on travel passes? Yes. So if you are an enrolled student, you have the student card, and the public transport is then for free. So we have what we call Straßenbahn. So it's a street train with some lanes. So Würzburg is not so big. So first of all, as I told you, you can reach in principle any point in Würzburg if you are good by feet within half an hour. So I typically walk or also ride a bike. But if you are a student, the public transport service is for free. Next question. Can you tell me more about how to get into a PhD program with research funding? So also here it depends. As I told you, I'm a professor for physics. So there are faculties, and Würzburg is quite proud of that. You can see it from the ranking that we have a lot of funded projects, especially for PhD students, funded, for instance, by German governmental funding, or a big funder is the European Commission. So here I recommend to go to the faculties offerings, and they often on the top page of the faculties they are seeking for PhD students. Then there are programs by the DAAD, the German Academic Exchange Service. Here I recommend, because in our unit we have support of applications for the DAAD. Okay. Next question. What medical services are available for students in the city, and are there university clinics or polyclinics that provide support? So in Germany, it is so, you become enrolled only if your medical status in the sense of insurances is clear. So you have, if you are an enrolled student, you can go and use the services for medical support at places which are close to you. So if you are ill, you can go to the doctors, and because you have these insurances. So all medical services are in principle open, but it depends on the decisions. So if you are ill, and first of all, you have to go to a general surgeon, and then they decide if you go to clinics and what else has to be done. Okay, next question. What are the language requirements for admission to the biology program? What is the duration of training under this program? What is the structure of the educational process? So here, first of all, I recommend to go to the faculties program. I do not know what is here meant. So as I told you before, we have the bachelor degree program in biology and the master's degree program. I know on the master's degree program, they are parts of study programs. Oh no, they are complete study programs, which can be studied in English. And the language requirement in English is, as far as I know, B2. For our bachelor studies, so in general, we need DSH niveau for the German language. In principle, bachelor programs have about 180 ECTSs. ECTS means one ECTS reflects about 30 hours, so it takes about 3 years for a bachelor study in Germany. For master's degree, typically there are exceptions. You have to study 2 years, that means 120 ECTSs. Next question. What opportunities for practical training and internship are provided by food science? So for internships, okay, if you are a student at Würzburg Unity, an enrolled student at Würzburg universities in this study field, I know that we are quite good in providing internships for our students, independently of the field, which are funded by Erasmus. This is the Erasmus Praktika. Here we have per year now up to 200 students who take this opportunity, and about thousands also with other programs per year. Students like to move from Würzburg to our partner universities worldwide. This includes also internships and also for food science. So it does not depend on the field what you are studying. I hope this answered the question. So does the university provide dorm rooms? Yes, but this is not under the organization of Würzburg University, but the so-called Studierendenwerk. So here I recommend to go to the Studierendenwerk Würzburg website and to apply for dorm rooms. When you are part of an exchange program, so we have many partner universities in the Ukraine, we guarantee a place at the dorm rooms. If you are going to a full study program, you have to apply via the Studierendenwerk and okay. So next question. What is the candidate selection process? What are the criteria? Especially ask for chemistry. So here we have to distinguish between the bachelor degree and the master degree. For bachelor degree, that is, there are only the general criteria. So first of all, I recommend to go to UniAssist and to apply for this VPD. So go to our web pages, we are linked, and you can see the general information. So to study a bachelor degree, you have to have these we call it HCB, this Hochschulzugangsberechtigung, this general admission right for a German university equivalent to the Abitur. From Ukraine, it is, as far as I remember, because I've heard so you have the school time is a little bit shorter compared to the German. Sorry, I was somehow disconnected. Can you hear me again? Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was about disconnected for about 1 minute. Okay, for chemistry, the standards are given by law. It is a decision because in Germany we have the kind of right in the states, Bavaria or so, for education, but there's what we call Kultusminister conference, so the ministries of culture-related subjects which define the standards for what I called HCB or for bachelor levels. You can see the background on this Anabin database, and where you can check, because this is the same, I guess, in Germany and for Bavaria universities, to see the standards. If you have special questions, you can also write me an email. And for master's degree, here you have to ask the person in a responsible Prüfungsausschuss from chemistry. As far as I know, I remember that in chemistry they have presently not an English-speaking program. So the German requirements are then DSH. Okay. Next question. Oh, there are a lot of questions. I'm too slow. So we have only 9 minutes back. What I do not know what I can do. Can I answer it afterwards? Okay, that is research. That is what now I see all in chemistry. Then there's something about games engineering. Here I recommend please go to the faculty page or write me an email afterwards. Does the university, so the next question, yeah, sorry. So I try again. Does the university provide support for publishing student research papers in international students? This is so it depends. For students publishing paper, I can imagine. So if you are a student, for instance, in informatics or natural science or others, for publishing papers, there is no restriction for the journals. So if you have a very good idea and you cooperate already with a professor or postdoc, which are, to my experience, typically addressing publication, but finally, if you are so excellent and submit a paper to a journal, then there is the evaluation process, then it can be published. So I had my first paper during diploma, so master thesis, so that is possible. But there are also other kind of publications which are maybe open. If I get you correctly, I myself, I'm an editor also for Nature and other, for let's say a dozen of journals. So it depends on the idea. I do not know if this answers your questions. There are also courses for enhancing writing abilities. I also publish here with co-workers in the administration papers. So I have about 300 publications, an age index over 40. Yeah, but if you have good ideas, why not? Next question. What are the general costs of living and studying in Würzburg? So general costs, I would say about 900 to 1,000 euros per month, because this is also the standard requested by BAföG. It depends if there is support by BAföG, but here I recommend to go to the Studierendenwerk, because they know this information. So living rooms there, I guess, are between 250 and 400 euros per month for a room or so. But here I do not guarantee information. I recommend to go to the webpage of the Studierendenwerk. So for sports, as mentioned before, so I know Würzburg University is quite good in football. There I read something on the university journal. Here I recommend to go to the central page of Würzburg University, and there's a search engine, and then you can look for activities in sports. And if there are courses there, I recommend to go to the study and look for sports activities. As we have the Main River, we are, I guess, involved in, I do not know the English word, rudern, so with the small boards on the river. And they are quite good because sometimes, in former times, also members of the Olympia boats were from Würzburg, as far as I know. Ball sports, basketball. So Dirk Nowitzki is from Würzburg. They're quite active in basketball, but no guarantee. I'm not a specialist in that. Next question. Welche Voraussetzungen gibt es für die Zulassung zum Medizinstudium? Wenn ich in der Ukraine abgeschlossen, welches Studienjahr kann ich bei der eintreten? Okay, this is a specialized question. So in general, for medicine, for German students and EU and students from the EU, we cooperate here with they call it a Stiftung. But as mentioned before, for international students, there's a slot of 5% per semester, where only international students can apply for. Here we cooperate with UniAssist. So also for the question is also for the higher study years, there are other restrictions. This is not in our unit, but generally I recommend to go to UniAssist. And then they will prove your application form. And with that VPT, you can apply for a medicine study. And here there's a ranking due to your grade. And for the others, I still ask you to write me an email because this is not in our unit. So the question is, this is what we call Fachwechsler. And I have to look for the process. I know that if you have already, let's say you have, you get an admission and you want to go to higher semesters, it is, there's a routine here, which is not in our unit, but I can send you then the link for that. So you have to get an approval first for your general admission, HZB, for medical studies, and also which of your Scheine are accepted by the university. Okay, so what is the average cost in students live? I answered that already. Okay, so thank you very much. Oh, there's so many questions left. An international study in medical programs, yes. So here I recommend to go to the medical faculty. They have programs also with the Ukraine. Our time slot has now finished. Rowing with boats, very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, rowing with boats. Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day too. So if I was not able to answer all your questions, I recommend still write me an email, lukas.warschich. So be very informal. I'm so old. Just say, hi, Lukas. I was at this fair. I have an additional question. Okay, so I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.